Good afternoon. Welcome to the IELCE Civics Network meeting for California. It's May 1st, 2024. My name is Lori Howard, CASAS Program Specialist Coordinator, and I'm here today with Portia LaFerla, Program Specialist, and Stephanie Fitzpatrick, also Program Specialist for CASAS. Please type your name and agency in the chat box, and if you haven't already, actually, it says after the meeting, but during the meeting, would you please register at caadultedtraining.org if you haven't already. And if you're not receiving my email reminders, I sent one out on Monday. If you did not receive it, please email me at lbhoward@casas.org or elcivics@casas.org and give me your email address and tell me you want to be on the IELCE Civics Network mailing list. So thank you for joining us on this beautiful day. Hope it's beautiful where you are. Finally, some good weather. And we'll move on to our agenda. I'm going to start with a CDE update, remind you about the award nomination information, give you a few items about civic participation IELCE, an item about citizenship preparation, a little bit of other information. And then after the meeting, if you have questions about the IELCE report and plan, which was due yesterday, but perhaps you're having troubles and you want to talk to me about it, I will stay on the line to talk to you. Would anybody like to add anything to the agenda? Okay, great. Let us move on then. So CDE update, and reminding you here at this link that the state WIOA 2 network meeting slides are at this link. They're in the accountability section of the CASAS website, and somebody at your agency should either go to the meeting or access the slides so you know what's going on. So our meeting this month is not till next week, but I'll be just giving you a little bit of update from 2 emails that were sent, one on the 24th of April and one on the 29th of April, Monday. So this email was titled Testing Assessment Changes, effective July 1, 2024. So effective July 1, 2024, the following national reporting system approved assessments will be authorized for California. And they mention the reading steps and listening steps for ESL. And it says use only these. Reading goals and math goals too for ABE and ASC. Moving forward, I put this in gray, in the next program year, these will be the assessments approved to report student pre and post test learning gains. So last month, I told you that the federal government had extended the deadline for stopping using life and work, but California has decided to continue with our implementation and only allow these tests for the coming year, 24-25. In the email, they gave some rationale. I'm not going to read it to you, but the part in gray says the California Department of Education, in consultation with state field leadership teams, has decided to move forward with the transition to the new CASAS assessments as planned July 1, 2024. So that's what we're doing. And I know, yeah, there was some concern about not doing it when we talked about it last month. So I'm sure hopefully everybody's happy about moving ahead and doing it. Any questions about that? I'm sure it'll be discussed next Tuesday at the meeting. Okay, and then the second email, so I guess you all received that, was about upcoming deliverable and funding updates. Again, I'm not going to read this all to you, but just to let you know that perhaps different from last year, outstanding deliverables will hold up reimbursements and access to future expenditure claim modules on the reporting site. So if you did not get your IELCE report in yesterday, or the SIP, or whatever else was due yesterday, your reimbursement might be held up. So you should know that. Most of you did a great job. There's a few outstanding agencies. So thank you to those who got in your IELCE report and plan. And we reviewers are furiously working on them and will be contacting you soon. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that later. And the other thing I wanted to just mention that it's important to update your agency contacts. So who is your ELC primary? Who is your WIOA primary? Who is your director? Go to this link and make sure you've updated your contacts so we know who to contact when we are giving awards, financial awards, or needing to talk to you about your program, etc. That's what we use. So please do that. Okay, so that's the CDE update. Any questions? Okay, let's move on to the Promising Practices Award. So we have Stephanie, who I hope will take over. I'll move the slides. Stephanie, just tell me when.
Okay. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the first one is the Promising Practices Award. It recognizes agencies that have implemented practices to help students attain their goals. So your agency could be considered for this award if the practices improve program accountability, develop skills that students need in the workplace. They promote collaboration and cooperation with other programs or agencies. This is one focus area that we're trying to promote. So collaboration and cooperation. Also promote the effective use of technology, effective student transitions, or have potential applications in other adult programs. So these programs, practices don't have to be limited to the ESL program. So you could nominate your agency if the practice is being implemented by other WIOA Title II programs in California, like ABE, ASC, GED, or IELCE. Okay, next slide, please. All right, so there's also the Making a Difference Award, and the unique part of this award is that it identifies programs that go beyond the classroom to affect the community in a positive way. So this one is open to agencies with Civics funded programs, both 231 and 243. And excuse me. So receiving these awards means great exposure for your agency because you can participate in a poster session and a discussion panel at the CASA Summer Institute, as well as at various network meetings throughout the year. So it's also great for other agencies to see what kind of practices others are doing out there, and so that you could be a role model for other agencies. Okay, next slide. All right, so these are links to previous award winners. So if you're looking for specific examples of what kinds of practices win these awards, you could go there. And next slide. All right, so I know the deadline says April 15th, but I know everybody's been very, very busy with all the deliverables. So we have extended the deadline. So we are still accepting nominations for both the Promising Practices and for the Making a Difference Award. And so just fill out the nomination forms and send it to me at sfitzpatrick@casas.org. So I hope that you'll consider applying for these awards so that we can see what kind of great things that you're doing at your agencies.
And here are some of the awards that we've given in the past, just to give you some ideas about what people have done, implementing an international day or health or job fair, leading a nutrition unit that led students to advocate for healthy snacks on campus, and volunteering to participate in the Dress a Girl Around the World, giving clothes to people in need. So we know you're doing great things out there, and we hope you'll apply for an award. We already have a healthy group of people, but we always want to encourage more programs to submit. Anything else, Stephanie?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, let's move on to the civic participation and IELCE. So as I mentioned, the final day to submit co-ops was yesterday. If you, for some reason, find that something was not submitted. That sometimes does happen. A teacher in a remote location is doing something that you didn't know about and it wasn't submitted. Give me a call and I'll try to help you out, but please do it right away because, we can't deal with this stuff too much longer. Also, to remind you, do not delete any co-ops for which your agency has already administered assessments. So if you've administered assessments, you need to keep it on your list. Otherwise, it won't count for payment points. And then now that you've submitted all your or selected all your co-ops, be sure to download your selected co-ops into TE. Question? Okay, so someone please mute your computer if it happens to be unmuted. Okay, and the reason why you need to select them is in order to enter the passing scores and get payment points if they have to be entered into TE in order to do that. No, the co-ops you selected by yesterday was for this year, 2023-24, and are good until your June 30th of this year. Starting July 1, you will select new co-ops for the new program year. And Jill, your hand is raised. But you're muted. Please unmute yourself.
Sorry, it's my first day on Zoom. Hi, Lori. Hi, everyone. My question is like a little more technical. So I just want to hear from everyone. When you enter the results for the students who passed the co-op, what I'm doing is I'm going into TE, typing in their ID number, and then literally saying it's a new test and putting that it's IELCE Civics, that they passed, click, click, click. Does anyone know of a way to do that in a more streamlined fashion? Like if I have a whole list of a class that the teacher has identified which students passed, is there a way to do that other than just one by one going in and clicking on that person and saying they passed?
Does anybody have the answer to that?
Our agency, this is Cindy with El Rancho Adult School. We use a test file, which is a lot easier. If you put in your email on the chat, I could kind of send you the template. We got this from Pasadena City College, their adult ed program. You will just need to reach out to CASAS for a vendor ID code, but I'll put that in the email.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
hello, Lori. I'd like to share. Lori, this
Sure.
is Ray Fernandez from Garden Grove. For years, we've been using the CASAS record for submitting pass or no pass, and we scan those. Each teacher gets their pre-slugged forms. They fill in 000 or 999. That's what we identified as pass or fail. And those get scanned with the machine into TE. And that's what it's been going on for years. That's how we do it here. So everything is CASAS related. So if you're interested in making that happen for your school, you may want to talk to Oscar at CASAS at technical support, and he can share with you the form that's required. And perhaps I can connect you with one of our data persons that can also share how we submit those and pre-slugged.
great. And who was talking? I couldn't see who was talking.
Ray Hernandez from Garden Grove.
Great. Thank you so much, Ray. I appreciate it. And
Yes.
yeah, we have some other ideas. So Jill says she doesn't use a scanner, but maybe she would want to. But other people said that you can batch edit. So calling tech support is really a good idea. And also, or going to the TE meetings on Fridays would also work. Okay. And so, and other people are asking, putting their emails in, asking for the information that I can't remember who. Oh, somebody was responding to Jill was going to send. So
I can send it to you also, Lori, afterwards. I'll include you in the
That'd be great.
email,
If you send it to
just in case I don't get everyone in there. And it's Cindy from El Rancho in Pico Rivera.
Thank you so much. If you send it to me, then I'll send it out with the notes email for this. Thank you. And again, your tech support can help you. The TE meetings talk about these things, so that'd be a great place to ask the question also and find out. But it looks like you got some good advice, and I appreciate everybody sharing. That's what the network's all about. Anybody else want to share or ask a question up until now?
Lori, this is Say. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so what I did with mine is I would just go to reports and personal score report, and then from there I just go to class instance, and then I just type in the class ID, and then I just I do it from there, which is if the student took the test in that particular class, I'll just select all those and I click there's somewhere over here under I'm still trying to open, but then I just did all that in there, so which is a lot easier. I can share that with whoever needs it as well.
Thank you
Just
so
email
much.
me.
And
Mhm.
maybe for next month, I'll get one of you to share your screen and show us how you do that. I'll talk to Martha about that first, our data person, see if she wants to do it for us. But thank you for the questions, and I hope that's given you some good information. Thank you for sharing, everyone. Okay, let's move along. I want to talk about proxying tests, and this relates to also the CDE update. So the question is, and this is number 5 in the Civic Participation in IELCE FAQs, may I use CASAS post-tests administered in 2023 as pre-test for summer school 2024-25? And I think it used to say you could use them into September, but I notice it doesn't say that anymore. I'll try to get that information for you. But it says any test administered between May 1st and June 30th may be rolled over into the 24-25 program year to be used as a pre-test for the new program year. Does anyone know if there's a deadline for using that as a pre-test, a date after which you can't use it anymore? I remember it being September 30th previously. I don't know if that still holds.
Hi, Lori, this is Kathleen. So far what I know, it's still September 30th. So they
Okay.
have not changed that date.
Okay, thank you so
Because
much.
I was just recently checking on the CASAS website.
Yeah, I should ask, because Jay wrote this for us, but I think we should add that in just to make sure you can't use it forever, but I do remember that. And then this note, which has been on the facts, the FAQs, and then we considered removing it, but now with the new guidelines, we aren't. Remember that only the CASA steps and goal series will be authorized for pre and post testing in 2024-25. So if you want a proxy test, you have to use that test now in order to proxy it into the new year. Any questions about that? Okie dokie. Okay, I just wanted to mention about selecting co-ops for summer school. So, if you're having summer programs that will post test before June 30th, you need to use the co-ops that you already selected by yesterday. Okay, but if your summer school program begins after July 1, then you can use the ones that will be available to you and you will select on July 1. And then for any option 2 or 3s, agencies may use any of the ones they selected this year for their summer school 24-25. Any questions about that? Okay, I've got some other questions here, so let me just look. Okay, what about pre-tests from students who enroll in May or June? Yeah, I would say it's any, I don't think it has to, I see what you're saying. It says post-test, but I think it's any test given after May 1st. They assume it's a post-test, but so I'm sure it's any test. Would anybody want to support me in that? Come on, you program specialists.
That is my understanding as well, Lori. Just any
Thank you.
test.
Yeah, me too. It acts as a pretest actually for the next year, so it's good. And especially for EL Civics, when it doesn't matter if they go up in their score, as long as they have 2, it's very helpful.
Right.
But-
So maybe we need to change this because they were assuming that if you give it this late in the year, it would be a post test, but sure, certainly it could be a pretest if somebody's, so we probably should just change it to tests.
And
So,
again, it has to be steps or goals only, though.
but it has to be CASA steps or goals, right? Tests. And let me just write those notes down so I can change this. Okay. And I will, if it gets changed again, I'm not the decider, but I will ask that this be changed to reflect the questions that you just had. Okay, and let's see if I've got 5 new messages here. Okay. Okay, good. And Janice, I'm glad you're on the line because you were asking about this. And so now you're here to see the final version. Well, maybe a final version. I'll let you know if it's not, if it has those extra things. Okay, I did this already. Okay, telling you our financial literacy and banking focus group. Our first meeting is Monday, May 6th from 2 to 3:30. It's coming up this coming Monday. So we have about 5 people who are joining, and thank you so much for volunteering. And if you who have yet to tell us would like to join, please just email elcivics@casas.org and I'll send you the invitation. But we're excited that we're going to be talking about financial literacy. We're going to review all the co-ops in Civic Objective 1 and see what needs to be updated or changed, or if any new co-op can be written. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Monday. So please join us. Email me and I'll send you the invitation. Okay, so as I mentioned, the due date for the IELCE report and plan was yesterday, April 30th. 95% of you have submitted, which is great, but we have a few people outstanding. Some of you may not know whether you have funding or not. There were some questions, those things. But for those of you who did submit and who will submit, the person who submitted the report, the administrator, and the corresponding program specialist reviewer, the CD consultant, the administrator, and the person who submitted the report. And if that's not the EL Civics lead person, they also will receive contact from the reviewer. We have some wonderful reviewers, extra reviewers added to our group. So your normal CASAS program specialist probably will be reviewing your report, but because we have some extra, there's some of the program specialists have so many agencies, we've asked some other people to review. Stephanie, who doesn't have her own agencies, will be reviewing some of your agencies. We've got Lisa Becker from Mount San Antonio College, who's also reviewing for us, and Susan Gare from Rancho Santiago Community College District. So you may be receiving emails from other than your regular program specialist, but we know that they're going to be doing a good job for you and perhaps giving you some special insight because they're new to looking at your report. So that would be great. You will receive some kind of contact in writing by June 7th. Okay. And the ratings are adequate with CDE review or not adequate. The adequate with CDE review is for a program that has one or more, for example, not adequate programs that, for example, had 0 enrollment because you lost your teacher or something like that. That's a special review, but it is still adequate. We just want to keep our eye on that program, and that's why it has a special rating. And just to know, if your report is rated not adequate, you'll be asked to have some targeted technical assistance to improve your report. So just because you get an email that says it's not adequate now doesn't mean you can't fix your report to make it reflect better with the requirements of the report. Okay, so don't worry about that. We will be helping you. Okay, and Jennifer is saying they Pro Literacy just released a financial literacy course for students and teachers. So this would be good for your instruction. But we're going to be working on the co-ops. But we can use this to inform us about what's new and good in financial literacy. So if those of you who are going to join us, if you want to look at some of those materials, that would be great. Okay. Let's see where we are here. Okay, I want to remind you about the IELTS Civics Exchange. We're so excited that we have materials in almost every of our categories. We're working on this one, so by next month, we should have numbers in all of these. We wanted to remind you that new to the list of materials is 28.2 from Torrance Adult School, 1.6 from Huntington Beach Adult School, and 1.7 from Mount Diablo Adult Education. And just to tell you that last month, on April 3rd, when I told you about these, we had many, many people go down and download these materials. So we're so happy with that. I'm going to show you that in a second. Next month, we should have both 3.3 from Mount Diablo and at least one level of 52.2 Huntington Beach. So we're going to have some new ones. And here are our incredible numbers. Since March of 22, which is just almost 2 years ago, we've had 15,000 sets of materials downloaded by you and other people throughout the state and throughout the country. We've had almost 4,000 in the last 4 months, and you can see our monthly download. And this is what happened in April after we announced these new ones. We almost doubled in downloads. So thank you so much. And I hope next month when we show you the new ones are there, that we'll get another bump in downloads. But we appreciate you using the materials. We're trying to be helpful to you. And we would love it if you are developing any new materials. You know, when you develop new materials, it's so much easier to make them 508 compliant, which means that people with sight impairment can view your materials. This could be your fellow teachers or your students. And we want so much to have our materials be accessible, and we offer you an accessibility guide and also the personal services of our OTAN colleague, Anthony Burek, who will help you make your materials accessible. So if you're starting to develop new materials this summer or in the fall, please work with us to make them accessible, and then you'll be able to submit them to the IELTS Civics Exchange and share with all of your colleagues. So we hope you'll do that. I just wanted to say, those of you 243 programs have submitted your report yesterday, and we're going to be looking at it. But as you go forward in the next couple of months and in the summer to work on your IELCE IET program for next year, you might want to use some of these resources to see how you can improve your program. Remember that we're requiring continuous improvement. We're requiring work on some of these quality indicators here at the bottom. And so maybe these materials from OCTAE, from Advanced IET, which is funded by our National Department of Education, could help you continuously improve your program. So I just wanted to point that out to you.
Hey, Lori.
Yes.
I just would like to tell people, if you're going to be at CCAE, please go to the session with Whittier, Sweetwater, and the CDE about their experiences in the Advanced IET Design Camp. Should be really a really interesting discussion, very informative.
Thank you. And do you know do you have a date and a time by any chance?
No, I'll look it up afterwards. Though,
okay, that'd be
see
great.
if I can get that in there.
Yes, I'm sorry, I should have put that on there. Yes, we really want to learn from the experience of Whittier and Sweetwater in the design camp, because that's sort of taking them a step further. And we're hoping they're going to participate in our Casa Summer Institute. Well, they will be talking about the design camp at Casa Summer Institute also, besides CCAE, and we're hoping that they will also do individual presentations. So we're working on that now. So now citizenship preparation, Portia.
Yeah, thank you, Lori. Yesterday, both CIT certification and recertification closed for this program year. Some of you are still in process with your CIT certification. We know it'll take a little bit of time to get your interviews in, et cetera. And so we already know that. You're not going to get kicked out for that. Don't worry. But certification will reopen at the beginning of July. So if you need to get somebody certified for the new program year, you can do that as of July 1. And recertification will reopen in January. And if you need to recertify, you will receive an email from CASAS, but the courses are closed for this year now. The government history test is also available to you if you want to offer that test to your students. That one does not require any special certification. And going forward, you're going to need to use steps only if you want to earn payment points for the CIT or for government history. Any questions about CIT or government history? Okay, Lori, next slide, please.
Sure, just 1 second, sorry. Help.
Jennifer Gagliardi is with us, and I'm so happy to have her here. There's a beautiful article by Jennifer that's on the OTAN website, and the link to that article is at the top. And Jennifer has given us a lot of information about the new N400, including an overview of the changes and a comparison between the old and new versions. She's given a lot of suggestions for instruction and some curricular resources. And Jennifer is our expert on citizenship curricula, and citizenship will be at the Summer Institute. But I thought we could give Jennifer a couple of minutes to talk about a little bit of what she has on that article, if we have time for that, Lori.
Sure.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Hi, my name's Jennifer, and so N400 was released on April the 1st. It only the April the new N400 2024 can be downloaded from USCIS right now, and also if a student applies online, they're going to be using the new N400 form. In the article, I basically talk about the different sequence of that, and just some of the similarities and differences in that article. And then also I talked about some AI activities that you can do in reference to adapt old N400 resources to get your students ready for the N400 2024 based interviews. I'm going to be talking about this at the CASA Summer Institute. I think that's my first public talk about that. I'm also trying to do something for CATISL. And yesterday on Links, we did have a community service, USCIS community resource specialist, and she talked about the differences of the N400. One thing that I want to mention, two things I want to mention in particular. One is about the accommodations, a request for accommodations. On the old N400, you would mark off your request for accommodations. Say, for instance, somebody's 55 years older and had their legal permanent resident card for 15 years. You would mark that off. And the new N400, they don't have that. What they're asking people to do is to go to the tools page of the on USCIS and to basically ask for the accommodations on that page. And so I'm going to put together a really quick video about that. And because that was basically one of the very first opportunities for USCIS to talk about the new N400 in public, we're writing up our notes from that meeting from yesterday. We will be posting them to Links later today. And I just want to say that I'm really looking forward to the CASA Summer Institute, because not only USCIS is there, but I think USCIS doesn't give themselves enough credit about the resources that they have, and the way, if we simply sequence our classes, we're going to be able to get our students really well prepared for the interview. Thank you.
That's terrific, Jennifer. Thank you so much. You are such a great resource. We so appreciate all the work you're doing with the federal government and with helping California give good instruction and do all the great things. We so appreciate you sharing your expertise with us.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Jennifer. And all of the information on this slide comes from Jennifer's article, including the links that are there. So thank you again for keeping us all so well informed.
Any other comment about citizenship?
I have another article in the OTAN digest that just came out is talking about using AI tools, different AI tools for your citizenship and civics classes, and it's much more detailed. I think the one that I presented at TDLS was kind of rudimentary. I've dug much more in depth, and every time I present, I really update those slides. So take a look at this article, and I'll be putting that in the link in the chat right now.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And Jennifer's article about the N400 is already in the chat, so pick it up from there. Thanks again, Jennifer. I'll be interested in your new article. So
Okay,
just some other information, just to say, we have one last meeting this program year, May 29th, from 1 to 2:30. So it's still in May, but there's many days between now and the end of the month. So I thought before the Summer Institute, we would meet again. And then I've set up the tentative dates. I haven't put them on the website yet. I always like to sort of run them by you in case I've made a grave error in planning on another day that other people have important things. So these are the dates I'm looking at: August 7th, September 25th, October 30th, and December 4th. If you have any big conflicts, there's a conference or something, I shouldn't be choosing those dates, let me know. And if you haven't already, please type your name and agency into the chat box so I can keep track. And if you haven't registered, please register at caadultedtraining.org. If you can do that before, I think 2:30, then your registration will count and I won't have to put it in for you. As Jennifer said, we're all excited about the CASA Summer Institute. You can still register. It's June 17th through 20th. The design camp presentation is on, as I recall, Wednesday. That would be the 19th. And then we're going to have model IELCE, IET programs on both Wednesday, June 19th and June 20th. We got a lot of great information. We'll be doing the IELTS Civics basics for any new people, and citizenship basics will be there also on both on Tuesday. Jamie Addison Goldstein and I will be doing a presentation on microaggression that we did at COABE and TESOL, which we got really good feedback from. So we're excited to be doing it for you at CASA Summer Institute in an elongated version. Anybody else want to plug their presentation?
Yeah. Wait a minute, where am I? Yeah, I'm going to be doing 6 presentations.
Okay.
I have no idea why, but
Okay.
it's going to be, one is going to be on news literacy. One's going to be about AI activities. One is going to be about the N400. One is going to be talking about the CASAS, civics assessments, and that's going to be really interesting because I'm trying to incorporate the new information from the new test. And I forget the other two. Also, what I want to do is put into the chat that Links just put out a new video about using civics in the class. So that's coming up in a couple minutes that I'm going to put in.
Great. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Well, this should be a great conference, so please come. It's at our very lovely location at the Hyatt Regency, Orange County. We really like it there. Goes really well, and we hope to see you there. Any questions?
Lori, the presentation for the IET Design Camp is 9:30 to 10:20 on the last day of the conference. I think that's
Is it Thursday or Wednesday?
I'm sorry, Saturday the 11th.
Oh, you're talking about CCAE. Sorry.
CCAE, yeah.
CCAE. Yes, Saturday, CCAE. Thank you so much. So the Saturday at 9:30 is the design camp. We suggest you go if you're going to CCAE, and it will also be given at CASA Summer Institute. Thank you, Portia. Any other questions or comments? Okay. We thank you for attending today. I will stop the recording, but we'll stay on the line for anybody who has questions about IELCE or anything else. Any questions that you want to ask about or topics you want to discuss before I stop the recording?
I think somebody asked about if CASA's going to be at CCAE.
I don't think CASAS is going to be at CCAE this year. I'm not, there might be a booth, but there aren't any, well, I should say Portia and I will not be there. So I'm not sure who else is there. I'm sorry. I don't
Okay,
know. Anybody else?
I'm going to present 2 times. So if anybody from CASAS wants to come in and get in on the action, or I could pass on information to CASAS, I would be happy to do that.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Okay, you know what? I would guess that Jay's going to be there.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Jay will be there, but Portia and I are not going, but Jay will probably be there. I wish I knew that. Sorry. I should
Yeah,
know.
Jay will definitely be there.
Jay will be there, definitely. So talk about CASAS testing, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording. Again, thank you so much for attending, and we'll see you on May 29th, same time. 1 to 2:30, May 29th on Wednesday.